Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments. Every Friday, 3 o'clock Central Time, Lord willing, we'll come and meet with you. I'd like for you to go to Ministry Moments YouTube and subscribe. That way you'll get it just as regular as could be every Friday and at 3 o'clock Central Time. Today, I love doing this. Maybe this might give you some ideas. I loved having a month set aside for an emphasis. For example, last week I talked to you about Christmas and Christmas weekend and Christmas for the entire month of December. I liked doing that. For example, stewardship, which I'm going to talk about today, we did in January. And so for the entire month of January, it was an emphasis of stewardship of time, treasure, and talent. In February, we did our missions. Our attendance on a Monday night and Tuesday night was good, but not very good. So I thought maybe that we could put a greater emphasis on missions by having it for the entire month of February. So that's what we did. That way, if a missionary were coming to town, he wouldn't have to schedule just 2 days, but he had the entire month of February to choose whether to come by and to present his work. And that way it gave us a chance to have different singing groups represent different parts of the world. The children loved doing that. And then we had dinners, international dinners, and so on. But the emphasis was the entire month of February. Now, today I want to talk to you about stewardship. And you can do it anytime you choose to, but we chose to do it in January because of our budget for that coming year was starting in February. So let me talk to you about January or Stewardship Month, whenever you'd like to, my thoughts about it. Number one, what I did, I scheduled a banquet. Schedule a banquet sometime during the month, maybe towards the end of the month, but schedule a banquet. And have it where you can take time to review the history of your church and how God has blessed it and so on, and then also be able to lay out what your plans are for the future. Now, we would give out commitment cards at that banquet, but we didn't ask them to turn those in until the end of the month. But you can have stewardship at the beginning, or whatever. But just have a banquet, a time of fellowship, but gives you time to review how God's blessed and the things that have happened for the cause of Christ to be furthered. Then you'd eat and so on, and then I'll show you something else that I did during that time. Number two, I said, number one, schedule a banquet. All right. Number two, review church history. Number three, you present the goals. What are our goals for this year? Hand out commitment cards so that they have, and on the back of that commitment card, it wasn't just the tithes and offerings and bus ministry, debt retirement, missions, and so on. On the back of that card, we had a listing of all the potential areas where we would need help or what they're interested in. And so if we need an electrician, our secretaries had that we typed it all up. We knew how many electricians we had, how many the carpenters we had, how many of this or that, whatever. And then we would, our maintenance man would just pick up the phone and call and say, brother, hey, I could use your help with this electrical here. Can you spare me some time? My air conditioner, we need some help. Can you spare me some time? And it wasn't just because obviously time, talent, and treasure, there's got to be the talent aspect of stewardship. And you'll be surprised, people want to help. They do want to help. And they'll check off on the back of that card exactly what their expertise is or what area they love doing. It may not be their career, but they've got a good background in something that they might be a blessing to you. So talking about Stewardship Month. So schedule a month, pick out your month, but schedule some time for that month. Then you want to schedule a banquet sometime that month. You want to review at that banquet church history. You want to talk about presenting goals. And at that time, here's a thing that we did that really made a difference. We had an amortization chart or a program to amortize the debt retirement. And what we would do then, we would show how long it would be before it's paid off if we just make the payments. Then the very first time I did this, I said, I want everybody to give $1 extra for debt retirement. And so they did. I think we had average about $200 a week. And so we would take the $200 and take it off of the principal, take it completely off the principal. And then when the interest is applied to the principal, guess what? It reduces the interest. Now, we got it to as high through the years as $2,000 a week. That's a lot of money. And that $2,000 a week, every Friday, we would take it to the bank, and they would take, now you have to have an open-end mortgage with the bank in order to be able to do this. So you need to make sure you've got an open-ended mortgage. If you don't have, you make sure you get one next time you borrow money. But just take it off of the principal. That way, sometimes it'll cut your interest way down, cut your 15 years down to 7 years. It really does make a difference. But you can amortize that to show them what $1 would do, what $5 would do, what $10 would do, what $20, and give them the option if they want to be a part of amortizing or paying off the debt early, the debt retirement program. And they'll do it. They'll do it. And oh, what a blessing it is. So you want to have a stewardship month where you deal with time, talent, and treasure. You want to, in that month, have a banquet. Have a time of fellowship. And then at that, you want to talk about your church history. Then you want to talk about your goals. Then you can present through an overhead the amortizing of the debt and show what $1 a week, $5 a week. If you had 200 members that give $10 a week, what a difference it would make. Then we would hand out commitment cards during the banquet. And then we would, throughout the month, teach Sunday school lessons on time, talent, and treasure. Stop and think about this. There's 168 hours in the week. You got that? If we tithe 10% finances, we tithe our talent. We sing in the choir, we play the orchestra, whatever it is, we work on the buses, whatever it is. We take it and use it for God. Well, then your time, you ought to emphasize during this month, 168 hours. You ought to give at least 16.8. And God said, Malachi, you rob me in tithes and offerings. So I don't just give 10%, I give 10% plus tithe and offering. I don't want to rob God in the offering. And so then time-wise, 16.8. Now you could teach and let the people know, hey, wait a minute now. Sunday school, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night is not going to make up 16 hours a week. So you want to tithe off of your time, then you need to get in the bus ministry or make soul winning, extra effort at soul winning, or whatever it might be. Get a Sunday school class, do something. But make sure you tithe a lot more than 16.8. Now, a lot of people don't think about that. For example, Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Now, it doesn't say seek God first, but that's what we like to use it for. No, it says seek the kingdom of God. What's that mean? You ought to be working a bus route. You ought to be teaching a Sunday school class. You ought to be involved so that you're seeking first the kingdom of God. You got that? All right. So you want to have a stewardship month. Pick out the month that you'd like to do it, but I think it's good to have an entire month. Schedule a banquet. Review church history. Go over the giving. Go over all of the history and the spiritual blessings and physical blessings and so on. Then you want to set goals. And during this time of setting goals, you want to amortize your debt, whatever it might be, and then show what $1 a head, $2 or $5 or $10 by 100 members, by 200 members. What a difference it makes. Let them see it for themselves, how it cuts that debt down. All right. Then you want to teach Sunday school stewardship lessons on time, talent, and treasure. Then don't forget, on the back of that card, there's different areas where they could give their time. They may be good carpenters, they may be great electricians, whatever it might be. They can just check that off on the back. That's in the office. And when somebody needs to get on somebody to help with the buses, we can see somebody, I'm interested in being mechanics, work as a mechanic on the bus ministry. So there you go. You can pick up the phone and call them. That's on the back of the card. I have them turn it out at the end of the month. Next. Teach Wednesday night practical Bible studies on finances. Help your people to get out of debt. Teach them about budgets, their family budgets, and teach them about retirement, how to handle retirement, and explain to them Bible truths about finances, about borrowing money. It's not a sin to borrow money. It's a sin not to pay it back. And I always worked on percentages. Tithe is 10%. Then you look in the Bible, a fifth, God says, a quarter, God says, a third, God says. God deals with percentages. So instead of somebody coming in and saying to me, my hours are cut, I'm not making as much money. And preacher, when I cut back on my missions, it's not because I don't believe in missions, it's just my money. Well, if it's a percentage, you don't have to cut back. 10% is 10%. So I ask our people to do it by percentage, come up then back into a dollar figure, but always base it on that percentage. So that when it goes up, you give more. If it goes down, you give less, but you're giving the same because it's a percentage. All right. So then you want to teach Wednesday night very practical Bible study lessons on finances and help them with their finances. If you can get those people out of debt, it's going to be a blessing to them and their family. And plus they'll be able to give more to the work of God. Have them turn in their commitment cards at the end of the month. So in our case, it was January. They turn it in at the end of the month. And then that helped us to see, of course, you got new people coming in. And just because the offerings are doing great doesn't mean you don't have to have a stewardship month. It doesn't mean that at all. You need to constantly, one of our graduates called me from West Virginia. And he said, man, things were going great. I did everything I was taught to do. And he said, but our offerings just bottomed out the last 2 years. And I said, well, tell me about your stewardship month. Oh, he said, I haven't had it in 2 years because we were doing so good. You can't do that. You got to constantly, you got new people coming in. You got to remind the old members. You got to do that. You have to do that. All right, let's review. Stewardship month. Pick your own month. Ours happen to be January. Schedule a banquet. Review at that banquet your church history. Go over the finances, the physical blessings, the spiritual blessings, and so on. And people saved, baptized, let them know. Then present goals for the future, what you'd like to do in the future. I had a financial lady who said to me, give me a wish list, something I'm not surprised about. And I learned to do that. It didn't mean I could do all the things on that wish list, but just so she doesn't get somebody coming at her blindsiding her. So that made sense too, and I did that throughout the years. So present goals, hand out commitment cards. Don't ask for them at the banquet now. Teach Sunday school stewardship messages and lessons on time, talent, and treasure. Teach Wednesday night, very practical Wednesday night Bible studies on finances, and then have them turn in their commitment cards at the end of the month. Now, this is so important. You've got to remind people constantly. Education is a spiral effect. You just keep going over the same thing over and over and over again, just approaching from a different area. But please make sure that the stewardship, don't feel like because the offerings are up, you got new people coming in, you have to teach. You've got to teach it. You got to preach it. Well, God bless you. I hope this has been a blessing. Hey, we got soul winning this weekend tomorrow. Make sure that you get out and go soul winning, follow up on your converts, and have a great weekend. God bless you. See you later.